Hey guys, it's me, Scriptweaver. Today we're not going to do an anime review. Today we're going to do something a little differently. Today we will be looking into and discussing the discovery of some interesting bits of Evangelion info I've recently uncovered. And it all comes from a really cool site called AvaGeeks. It's a forum site. The information bits that I'll be talking about today circle around the interviews done with Hideki Anno. Hideki Anno, if you guys do not know, is the creator of Evangelion. He's quite famous in the anime community. The really important bit we'll be talking about specifically today, probably towards the end of the video, will be what the originally intended ending was for the series. Or at least, what is the originally intended ending for the series, possibly. Because, we've never had a definite answer. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nope. No, Kakari. Not here. Not Evangelion. This is my territory. Bad Gendo. Get out. Sorry about that, guys. Gendo has a tendency to pop out and badmouth me. Don't worry, he won't bother us. Or at least I hope. Now, like I was saying, I know what you guys are thinking. But Script, the movie was supposed to be the real ending, wasn't it? But Script, no way, the last 2 episodes could have been the ending. They had either a low budget or they ran out of time, remember? Well, even though there is some truth to both remarks, the first one, generally, if not definitely, is wrong, while the second one actually is pretty true, I think. You want some proof? I'll give you some proof. It's not much of one, but it's the best thing we've had for an explanation from Anno in the past decade and a half. The proof is in a written-down, class-wide interview Anno had at a college university with a man named Kazuo Koike. Now, before we delve into this, I'd like to establish that when I say Air 25 and Air 26, I'm referring to both halves of the movie End of Evangelion. Just clarifying, just stating. Next, I'd like to talk about the tidbits surrounding Evangelion's interviews with Hideki Anno that give support to my statement of Ava's end, as well as interesting factoids about the show. And it also helps clarify in one way or another why my belief in the ending being the way it was is the way it was. Let's get started. To start off, many people associate the Christian and Judaic symbolism to purposeful religious placement for the sake of symbolism and deep meaning. And while there may be some truth to that, all in all, the idea might actually be a false substance, seeing how Anno sees himself as a form of agnostic, as well as being more on the ideals of Japanese spiritualism than anything else. Him being agnostic would only make sense considering the depression he went through the past few years. I mean, think about it. If you're in such a depression as you were, you're probably at a moment where you're wanting to curse God for what he's done to you. At least from what I've heard about Hideki Anno's depression. It's only assumable that he would transfer this feeling of depression and angst and, darkness onto the themes of the show, the characters, thus transforming the human race in the show and Nerve into pro-science and anti-religion. You see, Shinji as well as Nerve itself represents Anno's personal opinion on religion, at least at the time. An interesting fact to point out is the fact that in episode 16, Shinji was originally, officially, supposed to talk to an angel. Episode 16 is the episode where Shinji's trapped in the spherical angel, but Tsurumaki had him change it into Shinji talking to himself, or his conscience, which is actually very interesting because it was this change that led to episode 26's creation and overall theme. There's one more thing I'd like to mention pertaining to episode 26 and my theory about it. If you look at Anno's roundtable discussion, you'll see that at one point he mentions how he chose to have the final episode of Gunbuster in black and white. Now, while at first glance this looks to have no relevance to Ava's episode 26, it actually has all the relevance in the world. Think about it. When reading the interview, here he says, when you have color, you have an extra dimension of information. Color would have gotten in the way of the sense of scale we wanted to portray with the black hole bomb. Also, no one has done it before. The reason why he made it black and white was basically to portray a unique ending, and other stuff too, of course. But back to the point, what he tried to accomplish was, with Gunbuster, he wanted to make an effectively and possibly even artistically unique ending. Now, I may be overanalyzing this, but doesn't that sound familiar? It should. It should sound familiar. In fact, it sounds like episode 26 to me. Yeah, that's right, episode 26 of Evangelion. An effectively and possibly even artistically unique ending. Seeing the connection there? And when you look at it like that, it all comes full circle. I mean, you must think about it for a moment. That episode basically took a whole other route when it came to artistically portraying an ending. And if you think about it, that if Anno was to display that same idealism into Ava's ending, it would only make sense for him to make episode 26 the way it is, to be effectively and artistically standing out. It's a pattern of his that he does follow. He's staying true to his pattern. I don't know about you, but that definitely starts us back up to episode 26 for me. Now, to be fair, there is some truth to the whole scheduling and budgeting problem, but nonetheless, Anno has, and on repeated occasions with interviews, has stated that he wanted episode 26 the way it has come out. No more, no less. Essentially, if you haven't noticed by now, I'm already halfway through explaining the suspected true ending. Let me clarify and explain more properly. When reading the university's interview I mentioned earlier, you will find that Anno actually answers a question in a statement, saying, "For the TV series, we certainly ran out of time. We had no time for episode 25, so we remade it into the theatrical edition. In other words, Air 25. The final episode, episode 26, was going to be that way originally." Did you catch that? He basically said that episode 25, the true version that he envisioned for it, essentially came out in the first half of End of Evangelion, Air 25, while episode 26 was supposed to be how episode 26 was supposed to come out. That's essentially what he was trying to say, and I could be overanalyzing, but makes sense to me. From the looks of it, it's basically him saying that Air 25, the first half of End of Evangelion, and episode 26 of the TV series, that was, in layman's terms, what the true ending to Evangelion was supposed to be. Now, of course, with episode 26, even though that was spot on with episode 25, there's probably slight differences with how it would have turned out if they had the correct time and budgeting. Like, for example, this is just my guess, but I don't think that FAP scene would have been in there if it didn't come out as a movie. But that's just me. Even if episode 26 is what it was supposed to be for episode 26, and you all love the movie more than the ending to the TV show, do not fret. The whole point of having all these endings is that so you can choose for yourself which ending you want for yourself. If you want to believe that the movie ending is supposed to be the ending, go for it, man. That's your choice. That's your belief. If you want to believe both episodes from this TV show are supposed to be the real ending, like I said, go for a ball. Go for it. But from my assertions and my assumptions, and from the articles I've read, my personal outcome based on what Anno has said over the years, it would only be logical for Air 25 and Normal 26 to be their actual ending. But nonetheless, the ending is simply what we perceive it ourselves to be. Whether Anno wanted Air 25 and TV show 26 to be the end or not, it does not matter in the end. It matters what you think. If you want Normal 25, Normal 26 to be the one, go for it. Either way, I hope this video was very enlightening. I know this video will be sorta controversial maybe, I have no idea, but I'm guessing it's gonna be, because I'm touching on a lot of iffy subjects. And actually, to basically sum up this video, I'm actually gonna word it this exact same way a admin guy from the site I just visited worded it, from Ava Geeks. It's complicated. In truth, that's what it is. It's a very complicated subject. Even when Anno gives a definite answer like this, there's still so much stuff to account for. It's almost like it wouldn't even matter if we knew the truth or not, because we'd have all this other stuff beforehand to consider. So yeah, it's it's complicated. I hope I didn't waste any of your guys' time. I hope you guys learned something from this. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Leave a comment below the video, like, subscribe, you know, the whole Jim Jam. And have a nice day.
I wish that I could turn back time, 'cause now the guilt is all mine. Can't live without the trust from those you love. I know we can't forget the past. You can't forget love and pride. Because of that, it's killing me inside.